Hello there. Let's learn how to change active to passive voice, especially the exceptional cases where there is no object or there are two objects in the sentence. A quick recap. We watched a movie. This sentence is in active voice. Why? Because here the subject we is the doer of the action. Now, if we interchange the subject and the object in the sentence, then we get the other form. A movie was watched by us. Here, the subject is the receiver of the action, meaning the subject is passive and it is not performing the action which is indicated by the verb in the sentence, and hence we say this sentence is in passive voice. Now, we already know that an object is required to change the sentence from active to passive. Let's see a sentence. He broke. This sentence sounds incomplete, right? Now, if we say he broke the chair, then it is complete. We see that certain verbs require an object to make complete sense, and these are transitive verbs. Now, in this sentence, as it has both the subject and the object, we can change it into passive voice, which is the chair was broken by him. This is the sentence in passive voice. So what do we see? That the sentence which has transitive verb can be changed to passive voice. Now, you may say, what about intransitive verbs? He laughs. Another sentence, they won. If you see, these verbs, they make complete sense and do not require an object. Such verbs are called intransitive verb. Now, if you see, as there is no object in both of this sentence, we cannot change them into passive form. So you can say sentences with intransitive verb cannot be converted to passive voice. Now let's see more examples. What if the sentence was he laughs loudly? Now if you see closely, loudly is an adverb which is describing the verb laughs. It is not a noun. So still it is intransitive verb. Next, they won against all odds. This sentence also, again, it is intransitive verb. Why? Because this is a prepositional phrase. We don't see noun here or the noun phrase. So this assures that these are intransitive verbs and hence it is not possible to convert them to passive voice. Another case to look at. What if there are two objects in the sentence? What do? She gave me an apple. As you can see, it is in active voice. But what do we see here? Here, me is an object and also apple is an object. And what is the difference? Here, me is indirect object and apple is direct object. And how do you know that? Remember, it's an indirect object if it answers the question to whom. She gave to whom? She gave to me. Hence, me is indirect object. What about direct object? Direct object answers the question what. She gave me what? She gave me an apple. So, an apple is a direct object. Now we know this is a sentence in active voice with two objects. How do we change it to passive voice? First way, I was given an apple by her. In this sentence, the indirect object became the subject in passive voice. Also, there is another way to make it passive voice. Let's take the direct object and change it to passive voice. So this becomes an apple was given to me by her. So we see when there are two objects, there are two ways to change it to passive voice. Also, if you see, there is another way to say the same sentence in active voice, which is she gave an apple to me, and the passive voice can be both ways. Either I was given an apple or an apple was given to me. They gifted him a watch. This is in active voice. And as we see, there are two objects, the indirect object and watch, which is direct object. Also, there is another way of saying the same sentence. They gifted a watch to him. And how do we change it to passive? First way, he was gifted a watch, to make it passive voice, and here he is the subject. A watch was gifted to him by them. This is the another way to change it to passive. So to summarize, if there is one object, how do we change from active to passive? She scolded me. It becomes I was scolded by her. Here only object is me. Next, what about when there are two objects? He has not given any advice to me. Here are two objects, any advice and me. How do we change it to passive? First way, I have not been given any advice. Next way, any advice has not been given to me. So remember, there are two ways to change to passive when the sentence has two objects. Lastly, what happens if there is no object in the sentence? For example, he lied. Remember, this is the case of intransitive verb and this has no passive form. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.